Morning, welcome along to the activity briefings. We'll start with apologies. We have one from Councillor Everest, and Councillor Gilkison is joining us online. Hiya, Deb. Do we need to move in a second for the apologies? Okay, first up, Gordon and Helen. Morning. Anything to add to your report, Gordon?
Through the chair, no. Happy to take any questions that you'd like.
Thank you. Questions, councillors? Councillor Todd.
Thank you. Can't let you get away with nothing, can we?
Only if you just move your microphone.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
You know, in a world where we now live in, you know, how much is AI? So in your world, how much is AI actually helping you in your day-to-day activities from what you used to do?
Through the chair, I think we're very much at the beginning of that potential. I would say that currently within my team, there's a low level of use at this stage. It's just trying to understand where AI is added into suppliers' products that we consume. You know, what that actually means, what it actually does it bring our benefit and learning, and where other tools might exist. Again, trying to find out how that fits in with us and how we could use that opportunity. You know, there are areas within security that's starting to show, and so we're starting to explore what it actually means, because sometimes it's not, you know, what it says on the can isn't actually what's in the can. So,
Melis.
Thank you. Hi, Gordon. I see that we are moving to email notices for dog registration renewal. So, will that mean that because there will be people that own dogs that don't have an email? Would that be the case? How are you going to figure that out? How does it work?
through the chair, from a technology standpoint, I know how that works. From a business, as I understand it, there will still be opportunity to receive your renewal notice through the mail, through physical form.
Okay, so I guess that's probably more a comms question then.
We'll head over to Ian.
Yeah.
Thank you. Through the chair, yes, this is the first round, so there are a number of things that the team are discovering, including the fact that there are some emails that we have on file that are no longer being monitored. Some will be bounced back. So at the end, at the moment, I believe there's only a relatively small amount, and I can ask Rick Catchpole to bring some statistics on that are bouncing back. But we sort of expect that there will be a little bit of a transitional period. But at the moment, it's been really, really good. I think they've done about 4,000 that they've sent out, and they've only had, last I heard, about 250 that have been returned.
Councillor Cameron.
G'day. Hi, Gordon. Hi, Helen. I do not understand the words with health and safety. A multi-phase review of and updates in our corporate solution functionality and configuration is underway. The work sets out to take advantage of new solution developments as well as consider the current configuration and its design to meet ADC requirements. No clue what that means.
Who wrote that? Sorry. So we've got a health and safety system.
I understand that.
Yep. Okay. And what we're doing is and that's been in for now probably 4-5 years. The provider has moved on with their product, and we are looking to take advantage of those advancements that they've made. And so we've started almost from ground up, and are working our way through the various facets that make that system. Okay.
So if I can clarify what I understood, you've had a provider for this particular health and safety thing, they've moved on after 5 years.
No, sorry. They've added improvements to their system, so they've got new versions out.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking to take advantage of.
You mean buy? You mean
No,
you
just
mean
use new functionality that's available to us.
And what will that get? Does that cost more? What will that give
Oh,
us?
it doesn't cost more.
What will it give us?
It gives us new functions, new tools, streamlined services, so less complicated for the users, and we can maintain the compliance that we need to do.
I just have to trust you, Gordon.
Further questions? Thanks, Gordon. Appreciate your time. Up next, property, and welcome up Renee. Hi, Renee. Anything further to add to your report?
No, nothing further. Thank you.
Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. Morning, Renee. The business estate, drone footage and photography testimonials are all completed. So once it's edited, what's going to happen with that information? Is it for in-house promotion or is it to pass on to real estate? What's the idea behind it?
So the idea behind that is both for our marketing campaign on our website, and it's also to share with others as well. Since then, we've actually had another general agent that's joined or asked to be a general agent with us. So they saw our listing on Trade Me and asked to become a general agency as well.
And just while I'm on there, has there been any inquiry for any land out there at all?
We've had 2 inquiries.
Cool.
Yep.
Councillor Moffat.
Just a question about the elderly person's housing. I noticed that the waiting list got 24. I'm just wondering, is the waiting list sort of first in, first served, or is it based on need?
Through the chair, that is a mixture of both. So it depends on how long they've been there, what their needs are, and what they've requested. So some are looking for a double unit, some are looking for single. So it depends on each person's circumstance.
That's one more bit
Sure.
on that. And after the meeting with the tenants the other day, have you or your team had any feedback from that in general?
We have had some positive feedback from the tenants, just appreciating that we contacted them first and they were involved right from the start. So there has been really positive feedback from that meeting so far. We've got the MSD sessions that start today.
Councillor Wilson.
Elderly person's housing again. So the 3 we're doing renovations on. What are we doing with those 3?
Through the chair, just the normal renovations. That'll be carpet, paint, that kind of thing, just to get it ready for the next tenant.
And what's the program for the next 12 months? Because I'm sure the residents will be interested. You know, what's our? Are we renovating, or what are we doing? What have we got? Any schedule to be done in the future, or what's the?
That decision hasn't yet been made, so for this upcoming 12 months, we'll just continue to do the renewals as we have been, which is when a tenancy becomes available, then we look at the unit, find out what needs to be done, and then undertake those works.
Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. Just now that our new road and the second urban bridge has got some fairly confirmed dates, when are we going to start placing our minds to thinking about South Street and the land on the Tynwald side of the bridge and all those sorts of things? Because if we don't do that soon, suddenly all the works out there is going to have happened and we won't have done ours to maximise our opportunities, I suppose.
I understand the question. I wonder if we could refer it to Ian Hyde rather than property per se.
Yep. South Street would be more property though too, wouldn't it?
Yes, it is, but it's a whole picture that is more in that planning area than.
Yep. All right.
Yes. So a very short answer is we're definitely looking at it. We also need to have some discussions with our property colleagues as well about what the best approach will be. We've got some pretty good economic data zoning data about what the land use patterns are, and that's the work we did a couple of years ago with property economics, which tells us what the demands were, and that was actually in preparation for this work. So the next step is actually to work out, now that we've got the bridge starting to get underway, how that might look, and to what degree, or to bring it to you potentially, what degree the council might be involved in any development of the land that we might have. We're somewhat stymied at the moment a little bit by the plan change provisions through the current legislation, but as the new act starts to come in and emerge and the details become clearer, then we'll certainly put that in action in a regulatory form as quickly as we can and get a timeline around it. But discussions are certainly starting.
Thanks, Ian. Councillor Wilson.
The Cameron Street building car park, how many parks have we ended up down there with?
That's a good question. I don't have that on hand, but I'll get that out to you. Mr. Hyde might be able to answer.
Sorry, can you repeat the first
How many parks have we ended up down that park?
I recall it's when we did the calculation for the parking study, I recall it was something like the area was something like twice the area of the one in Cass Street, the Eastfields car park. It really depends. It's going to be unmarked, so it's going to depend on the way that people park in there. We've also noted that it's actually going to be quite attractive for people to park the larger vehicles. So on holidays, they'll be able to park trailers and caravans and things in there quite easily. But I would think that there would be at least 100 vehicles that will be able to be parked in there.
But it's open for business now, is that correct? No?
Not yet. It will be open in time for Glow. So it'll be open on Friday evening.
Okay.
But the parking won't be required to be paid for until the Tuesday following.
I think we've done a press release, haven't we? It's free for Glow and then operational after that. Councillor Moffat.
Also, Cameron Street car park, congratulations on coming under budget. So how much under budget was that?
We're still waiting on the final invoices, but it's looking to come in probably low to mid 700s, and we had a budget of 856, so it was carefully managed, that one.
Well done, Renee. Any further questions? Thank you, appreciate your time. Up next, Finance, Gordon and Aaron. Anything further to your report, Gordon?
Through the chair, just in regards to the annual plan, so we've moved the bringing of the annual report for adoption to the 30th of June. We're currently in the activity report as specified a couple of weeks earlier.
Great. I had a question around the director and manager from Audit Office met with key council stakeholders. Very constructive day, all involved. Can you just maybe give us a wee bit more background about the day?
Good morning. Yes, so what happened was they came on site and met with the key stakeholders. So they had a meeting with the mayor and the CE, and they met with the infrastructural managers, and basically just it was a really good chance to have a conversation about the expectation and how we can make it work as a team between the two teams. So it was a very good session.
Awesome. Further questions, councillors?
Just me.
Oh, hi Deb. Thank you.
Sorry. The great and powerful Oz here. I just had a question on the annual plan. So I see that you've been doing workshops in response to the Iran war. And my question is, will we be seeing a reduction in service along with that?
Through the chair, currently no, there's no anticipated reduction in service. The council's managed to try and make some savings in other areas to try and help reduce the overall cost increases, but unfortunately it has meant that the rates increases slightly increased. And that information...
Right, okay. So why does it take a war for council to analyse their costs in this way?
So I'd probably say that when we did go through the budget process, we were going through with a fine tooth comb, but being acutely aware of the increased cost pressures that the community would face, we kind of took another sort of overview as well. And this was just going a lot deeper. The main driver wasn't the increased costs. We've been doing that all the way through. We just wanted to make sure that if we were increasing costs due to the cost associated with the Iran war, we could look at the community and kind of say we have actually reviewed everything again, just being acutely aware of the impact it would have.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Maxwell.
It's just around meeting with the audit office. So hopefully we've got some, it's very clear this year about where you're going and what you're doing and what they want.
So I think it's more of that relationship building that it was a completely new team from their perspective last year, and so this was really helpful in basically building connections, networking to understand them a lot better, as well as them working with us better.
It was also around planning for our interim audit, which starts next week. So we have 3 weeks of interim audit, and then going into the final. So it was about clarity about what work will be delivered when, who the players from our side are, so their team know, making sure that we have regular communication right the way through the audit process, and that we're in a way better space than last year. Yep.
Councillor Alex.
Thank you. Just your first comment. I'm just wondering what's changed to push the date from the 17th back to the 30th for adopting of the plan.
This is for the annual plan, sorry.
The annual plan, sorry. Yeah.
So we've pushed it back just to make sure that we can get the information through to council as soon as possible. With the changes associated following the workshop that we held back in May. We also wanted to make sure that we just retested the flow through IBIS and to make sure that the rates resolution was thoroughly updated. So this is just done to reduce risk associated with the changes that we made quite late in the piece.
Cool. Thank you.
It's just also around workloads, trying to facilitate the simplifying local government work as well across the teams.
Great. Further questions, councillors? Good to go. Thanks for your time, guys. Up next, solid waste management. Justin's outside. Welcome up, Mr. McCann, as well. And Chrissy. Morning, team. Anything further to add to your report, Justin? We'll start with you. No. Questions, Liz?
Yeah, just a question. I got a phone call from a ratepayer on Friday night saying my bin's been missed. I've rung the after hours. They said that they don't deal with that. So what are the options? And Neil McCann helped me sort that out, and probably you did too, Justin. But so on a Friday night when everything's closed, nothing's open till Monday, what happens? Would it normally go through the after hours system, and how did that kind of get missed?
Sorry. So we did follow that one up. We're still looking into that part of it. That's what after hours is for. So yeah, I would have thought that would have come through and feedback as it normally does. Yeah. So. Because
how many areas get their bins picked up on a Friday? Is it just Rakaia, or are there
It's
more?
Rakaia, and there's a small area in town here.
Oh yeah.
On a Friday.
Yeah.
So normally, what we would expect is you may have the odd bin missed. So they would that would normally flow through. Monday morning we'll hear about it first thing, and they'll go out on a Monday and collect any Fridays.
Okay.
Yes, so normally we would, if it is a missed bin and it's not a bin that's been put out late, if it's identified as being missed by the contractor, the following day they would pick it up.
Yeah,
so unfortunately for those on Friday, they would have to wait till Monday.
Okay.
But this particular person insisted that it had to be collected before Monday. So their whole street had been missed. So the contractor picked up those bins on the Saturday morning.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Councillor Gilkison.
Hi there. I just wanted to ask about the curbside audits. So I put up a Facebook post last week, and I think there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, we need more education." So I just wanted you to confirm me with the curbside audits, what happens, and what kind of process for education is followed.
There's quite a bit into it. So if there's a small amount of contamination that's left in a bag in the letterbox, so on the bag, it has got a bit of information on there. That bin for that day will still get collected. So same property could have a number of those. If it's something small items, lids, or just the odd thing in there that's not recyclable. So next stage is the bin's not collected for that day, so it's pulled back with a tag on it. The tag has got details of exactly what the issue is with the bin. Then you can have 3 of those. On the 3rd strike for that, the bin is then taken away.
Okay, thank you. And when you're deciding how to do that, do you look at what has worked in other places to kind of get what is fair, but also what might educate people?
Yeah, so to be honest, Ashburton is fairly new at this. Well, the whole country is. We essentially started this off, and Ashburton's recycling is probably the best in the country. So it's evolved through time as to the worst items that are in there, and what are hard to recycle and sort. So dirty things, dirty items, food, nappies, can contaminate entire loads. So that sort of stuff would be more likely to be pulled back. Some of the large items that are clean will get returned.
Thanks. And I've just got one more question, if that's all right, Councillor Hooper.
Quickly then.
It was just around, so you came to talk to us on Monday in Methven, and there's been a lot of contamination around the large things that have been dropped there. Can you just talk a little bit about that and kind of explain what we've done? Because I noticed it wasn't in your report unless I missed it.
Yeah, it wasn't in the report. No, I'd finished that before our Monday meeting. So essentially, we do get a lot of dumping of material at the Methven recycling drop-off. So essentially, we accept whiteware and reuse items. The problem is what's a reuse item. So we look at it as something that can come back to Ashburton and be sold in a shop. We also don't take electronics, because if something's useful as an electronic and it lives outside in the rain, obviously it's not useful then. So that we sort of have the problem, what is a reuse item? We've got signs up to try and explain exactly that, but people push limits. And you also have the other side of the coin who just use it as a dumping area. They understand that you can drop items off, so it gets pushed. The type of items, not only are they not reusable, they're not even close to reusable. So essentially our contractors need to pick all that up, transport it back to Ashburton, and it goes to landfill. So that's a cost to everybody else.
Thank you.
Councillor Moffat.
Hi, just wondering, with the delay in the green bin rollout, how this is affecting like staffing and the work schedule, that kind of thing. Were you employing more people to work there, and has that been put off, or what's happening around that?
At this stage, there's still a bit of uncertainty. So the new contractors coming in, they have to go ahead with the trucks. That's not something they can put off, and same with the staff. They still need to employ the staff to do the job, because we haven't got a set date or anything moving forward. They essentially need to keep going with what their original plan is and have that on standby.
So what will that staff do?
That's a good question. we just need to cover that off, really.
Councillor Wilson.
Just like to drill into that. So the bins, what is the current ETA? Because there's been different dates. The dates have been in public, but this is the time for me to ask: when do you think the bins are arriving at the moment?
The plan is for start of January. Bins will be the first pickup will be on the 4th of January, which is a Monday. That's what we're looking at the moment.
Yep. And so with the changeover to Wasteco, where the rubbish goes to, obviously, the management part of it, that'll be ready to go by then, because obviously you pick a bin up, it's got to go somewhere, the green waste's got to go somewhere. Is that being done at the moment? That's all being?
No, that's been sorted already. There's no change in where the material will go. Yep. It's really just the bins that's been the problem.
Okay. And the second question I had was the recycling store. I think Mart's is right. The money from that effectively goes to the contractor because that pays for the running of the shop. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And the reason for that is it's encouragement for them to create that diversion from landfill.
And one more, if I may. I think we've mentioned at other times the reduction in waste going to Cape Valley. It's reducing over time. And why is that less waste, or is it more diversion, or what do you think that's happening? Because obviously it's a cost to us when we send more costs more money effectively.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's probably just the country is looking more at sustainability, so products are more likely to be recyclable than just throw out products. But it is a bit of a guess at this stage.
Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. Good morning. Aside from the FOGO, just wondering, you've got mobilisation activities are progressing. So is it all going, the transition from one company to the other? Because D-Day's coming, and of course everyone wants a nice smooth transition because they want their rubbish picked up on time, as we've heard, and everything else. So.
Yep. At this stage, everything's moving along. They've done majority of interviews with staff. I think they're getting offered jobs Tuesday next week. Everyone who's and at this stage it looks like most of the staff will stay on if they want to. Yep. So everything else is coming along. We've got currently working with our comms department on the livery for the trucks, so how they're going to look. So the trucks, majority of them are built. So everything looks to be going along pretty smoothly.
Councillor Todd.
Thank you. Just with the green bins and the delay for all sorts of reasons, oil shocks, etc. Is there a new cost involved in the making of those bins that we haven't budgeted for, or where's that sitting?
Yeah, at this stage we've had an indicative price, but we can't say definitely at this stage what the price will be for the new bins, but I anticipate there'll be a price increase.
Councillor Maxwell.
Just with the FOGO bins and everything coming out and the issues that we have around methane with contamination, so is there an opportunity to, I think they used to have stickers on the bins for the different things, would there be any chance of some reissuing of some of those at the time so we can run that with the comms just to remind everybody what goes where at all?
Yep, so with the introduction of the new service, there'll be information to go out with that, so there'll be an update to stickers. Just from the discussion about the methane, we're getting a small supply that can be put on bins throughout methane and other areas like that. Yep.
A couple of quick questions from me. The FOGO, is that heading north still or south? There's a question. I thought south.
North. So
Still north.
Christchurch,
Okay,
yeah.
Yep, thank you. And what's the percentage, Justin, for audits on people's bins via the truck driver noticing stuff in the camera or random?
So I haven't got numbers on the driver's information. It's just, our auditors do them randomly as they're going around. But the drivers do feedback information. We just haven't got those numbers.
Okay, so majority are just random audits though? Yep, thank you. And Councillor Wilson.
That's right, I missed that. The Hines landfill, 20,000 cubes, is quite a bit of stuff. being trucked in, it's like, you know, if it's 20 cubes truck, that's 1,000 truckloads. You know, will it be a hill there after that, or what will be the story?
Yeah, currently the site it's been capped, but there's areas where there's actually quite big holes in it, and then the site's slumped as well. So no, the 20,000 cubes should shape it properly. Ideally, you want a good dome shape anyway for the water to flow off each side. So yeah, 20,000 will be.
And so that would be a cost attributed to the bridge, would it?
Yeah, I think roading's covering that for us, which is good. There was a cost anyway to transport the material, so it is a little bit extra to get it to the Hines landfill, but that's essentially a saving for us.
Because we wouldn't want waste management paying for that. You want the bridge to be paying for it, because they've got to put it somewhere, haven't they, effectively?
Yep.
Thanks, Justin. At ease. Stock water operations, Chrissy?
Oh, sorry, if I can just mention that the other reason why Chrissy sits here during the solid waste discussion is that Chrissy manages the waste education contract with Eco-Educate. So they're responsible for the education out of the schools and also the audits. So any questions with regards to education and audits, that's what Chrissy's doing sitting here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I will add one thing. The auditors actually do have conversations with people actually on the street. So if they happen to be going through the bins and people come out, they will actually interact with them, and they do invite them down to Resource Recovery Park and all that sort of stuff. So it's not just simply just putting stuff in letter boxes and walking off. They are more than happy to have conversations with people.
And they are just doing a job. Be nice. Yeah. Stock water operations. Any questions? Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. Morning, Chrissy. There's a few there where the public drop-in session for the spring intakes is mid-June. Do we have a definite date for that yet?
The 15th. It's just been set, which is a Monday 15th of June, and it will be at the Lagmore Timwald Westerfield Hall at 4 p.m. I can send you an invite if you would like.
Thank you. I should get one anyway.
Councillor Moffat.
I'm just curious about the fish. So, fish removal, do we know what species, and do we have any idea how many are in that Pudding Hill stockwater?
We have no idea how many. We've done eDNA testing, which gives us an indication of the species that are in there. We're just developing a fish salvage plan, which we'll be putting into action at the end of June when we close Limestone Creek. And that part of that is working with the Mataitai Committee, who are part of our whenua, DOC and Fish and Game. So we're all involved. And they all are specialists. They know what they're doing, and I'm just tagging along out there, seeing what we've got. So I can't tell you exactly the numbers that we're anticipating on finding.
So you don't know how long that process will take then?
No, that's unsure of at this stage.
And once the fish are removed and put in tanks or whatever, then where do they go?
So that's why Fish and Game and DOC are there, because you have to have people who are licensed to move. Actually, I can't put them in a bucket and move them. So that's why we have them involved, because they're actually the people who are the practitioners who can do that work. And they we will identify locations for them prior to the work happening. That's all part of the planning around the salvage.
Ellis.
Thank you. Just under the Pudding Hill intake, and just wondering how your discussions are going with ECAN around Mount Harding Creek. Has there been any updates, or should we wait till the stop?
We're still waiting for a reply. I did get an email saying that they are conscious that we're waiting, and they'll get back to us as soon as possible.
Councillor Wilson.
I think we should escalate that to a higher level, because we had a meeting and they guaranteed us that they were going to get onto it, and sitting on their hands is not good enough. So I think we perhaps should look to escalate that higher and put a bit of pressure on them, because that's quite critical to the whole structure. And also I'd just like to reiterate that 15th of June meeting if we could just mention that it's Remington. Chrissy, you can probably tell me which ones it is, so that.
Remington, Shepherd's Brook, Lagmore, which of course is Timwald Domain, and the Langdons.
So encourage all people to come along because they'll learn a lot about it, and it is a very important meeting for those waterways.
Further questions, councillors? Thanks, Chrissy. Appreciate your time. Roads and footpaths. Welcome, Mark. Anything further to add to your report?
No, not at this stage. After a good discussion yesterday. Yeah.
Was too. Questions, councillors? Councillor Wilson.
It's been in the paper. Just it'd be a good time to reiterate Beach Road, what's happening out there, because obviously it's been quite topical, and with the resealing of it, we've done some, and there's been 2 accidents, and just to reiterate to the public what we're doing there.
Well, we did rehabs on sections each side of it, and this is sort of the next bit to be done. So it's included in a contract that's out for tender at the moment. So it's at the end of this report for rehab next year. So the 2 kilometres in the middle there where the crashes have occurred. But prior to that, we had already had work programmed to dig out the worst shoves that are there just to get it over the winter before we do the rehab. And we're going to do a short-term seal on it as well, just to improve the texture for this winter as well. Recognising we're going to cover it over, but just with the 2 crashes quite close to each other for similar reasons, we thought we just had to spend the money on that. So that's happening out of our seal payment maintenance money anyway. So yeah, the timing wasn't very good. With the first crash that week, and it was wet and raining, that was when the crash occurred. That was the week they were going to start the dig-out repairs, but because it was wet, they couldn't do them. So yeah.
Councillor Cameron.
I've got 3 quick questions, if I may, and I'll do them really quick.
If you promise to move your mic.
The first one is the Will Street overbridge starting next week. Oh, starting next week, is that correct? And they're going to do repairs in situ pretty much, so the overbridge won't be closed?
The bridge will definitely be closed. The middle truss is getting removed. So
Okay.
had got a program of crane in to be able to do on the crane just sitting there. So it's waiting for a time when we could actually go there. Just been delayed with permits and licenses from Kiwi Rail to use the land there and actually work within the rail corridor. So they're all there now. If Glow in the Park wasn't happening, we probably would be doing a bit earlier, but just decided that we'd wait until after Glow in the Park over this weekend to keep that bridge open for people who want to park on the side. But they're gearing up, ordered timber for the replacement, that sort of thing. So gearing up to remove the truss next week and then start the work.
So how long will it be closed for, mate?
Probably 8 weeks or something like that, I think. So
Oh, okay.
It'll be quite a while, yeah.
Closed whilst, and then at the end of that period of time, it's open and ready to go.
Well, the middle truss is being removed, so it's closed. They're going to have signage inside just to stop people going across and stop people actually using it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You don't
And
want to fall
then
under the
once
railway
everything
tracks.
is repaired, and then the truss gets put back on, and once it's been painted and cleaned, and along with all the other repairs on it as well. So yeah.
Okay, in 8 weeks, it's fixed. It's pretty much.
Kind of depends how it goes, yeah, and weather as well, because they're working outside and painting
Okay.
and stuff like that. So.
Can I go to Lakewood?
That's 4 questions already.
Well, that was clarification questions. That weren't actually obvious questions. They were sequelae to the initial question. May I now go to Lakewood?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, thank you. The containers have been removed from the canal and stored at the depot to possibly use again next summer.
No, sorry, not yet. Not eroding. Councillor Moffat.
I just thought of a question around the bridge. I noticed in the article that came out from the council comms, they're encouraging people to use that overbridge during Glow in the Park. I'm just wondering what the capacity is for foot traffic over that at the same time. I guess we don't want a lot of people on that bridge, just before it's going to be repaired.
There is no limit. I think the structure can, I guess if you had 200 people standing on and jumping up and down, it may not be good for it, but yeah, there is no limit for it. I think looking at the use now, it's quite a regular use. I think most people will be using other ways of walking across, but there won't be a capacity issue though.
There's no danger of...
Just need to be careful crossing the state highway as much as anything else, I would have thought.
All right. Yeah. I actually had a question about the Lakewood flooding. Can I go to that? No.
No.
Mealers.
Page 23, Dry Creek work that you're doing. So I know you've had the stormwater engineer involved in that. So what's what's the work look like? Is it down Methven Chertsey Road, and is it to do with the drain on the side?
Yes, it is, and stabilising the side of that drain and the edge of the road to stop it falling in. So he's come up with some ideas of better ways of actually doing it, and the gradient of the drain, so just doing some work with that, and also where water crosses at a couple of intersections, having concrete pads and things like that as well. So yeah.
So when do, I see next financial year, but will that, because obviously the flooding usually happens over winter.
Yeah.
So are you able to get it done in winter, or will it have to wait till sort of spring, end of the year?
Being the warmer weather is the idea anyway, so ready for the next winter.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can get flooding events during the summer as well. So yeah.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pleased that.
Yeah, it's good work.
Yeah.
Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. Now we've had our wonderful sod turning and the bridge projects all official and underway. Through activity briefings, will you keep giving us updates? Because when we start on the road, there's going to be some disruption. There's work at Wilkins Road, there's work at Graham's Road and those sorts of things. So will that be an area we'll get a report on how it's going?
It can be, but the main information is the NZTA link, so they'll be keeping that up to date, the stuff on the NZTA website, so we've got a link there. But I'll be on to Linda about sort of the information that can come through, though. So regular updates. Every Friday I get a 3 weekly program of what's been achieved the week before and what's planned for the next 2 weeks, so I can circulate that to councils as well if you like. I've got it circulating around some staff within council, but it's actually quite useful as well. There's nothing secretive there, it's just saying where they're doing the work and what they're doing. So. Hamish?
Yeah, just urge both councillors and the community to sign up to the NZTA website that will be updated regularly through this work. We'll do our bit as well for you. But everyone should be signed up, and you'll find there'll be a wealth of information come through as the project progresses.
Councillor Wilson.
Sorry,
Neil, did you want to hop in?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that we'll have the NZTA project manager come to council every 3 or 4 months just to give a project update to council as well.
Great, thank you. Councillor Wilson.
It's with respect to our next 3-year roading program. We're starting the work on it. Are you getting good information through the SnapSend solved as to the heat map, I'll call it, for potholes in the district? Because that's one of the avenues you use to understand where the network needs more work, 'cause you've got many eyes out there looking at it. Are people using SnapSend and Solve? Are people, to help us?
Yeah, a combination of SnapSend Solve and phone calls and emails and general observation by people as well. So it's a combination of all those. SnapSend Solve, it's good. I'm not sure the numbers, how many. You probably could report that though. How many are SnapSend Solve ones? I recall the last time it was like about 20% of them or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think where Councillor Wilson's going is we urge people to use that because it's such a good tool. SnapSend Solve.
Yeah, and it's numbers totally that we have in the system. So it doesn't really matter where they come from. That pothole map is from all the information we have. Either prepared by the contract or we've been informed of them. So, yeah.
Councillor Moffat.
Sorry, I'm just waiting for the next point.
Turn your light off, please. Councillor Maxwell.
Just as an FYI, there's some substantial work going to be done on the upper reaches of Dry Creek very soon.
Yeah, Liz?
With the previous roading contractor, they used to come in and sort of give us an update every, 6 months or once a year. Is that something that we could do with our current contractor? Is there anything scheduled?
No, there's not. I'm not sure it was 6 monthly, but yeah, they did come in a couple of times. Yeah, I'll talk to them. I'm sure they'll be keen to come in and present the work they're doing and give some point of view.
And when I first became councillor, however many years ago, we used to get a Friday update from Fulton Hogan that kind of just used to say, hey, this is what we're doing this week, this is what we've done. Do they still send that through to you? Is that something they still do? And is it worth sending to the councillors?
Jeremy and Sheen certainly get that information because they want to know where they're working, so they go out and see them and things like that. So, but we could do that though. And the monthly newsletter is on the website as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
on our website they have been adding the monthly updates.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, thank you. That should be enough.
Thank you. Councillor Cameron.
I'm waiting, I don't think there's any more additional questions, but I'm waiting to check I can talk about Lakewood.
Is there any more roading and footpaths questions? Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Okay, now on to contracts and tenders. Hi, Neil. Anything to add to your report?
No, just if you want to know more about the Sealed Road Rehab Rural North, that is the roads that are covered in that contract is Ashburton Staveley Road, Forks Road and Beach Road East are part of that contract. That's out to tender at the moment.
Okay, do we have any questions for contracts and tenders? Oh. Julie?
Yes, so I presume this bit 2.6 is under contracts and tenders, is that right?
No, it's separate.
I'm misreading that. Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Councillor Wilson.
We're hearing a lot about escalation of, tar sealing and that. Are we, are you expecting these tenders to be, on budget or over budget, or how are you expecting them to be with this roading? Because that directly affects how much work we can do, how much they're coming. Is what's the market doing effectively at the moment?
Well, we'll find out when the tender's closed. So for the rehabs, normally it's they're tendered and that's the contract price. We don't normally have escalations in those. Just the way things are at the moment, we will apply escalations, so either positive or negative ones through the period of construction. So this is for next summer. They'll be starting in like September, October on the work. There's 3 sections on Ashburton Staveley Road and one on Forks Road, one on Beach Road East. So we don't really know how contractors are going to price it. They'll know based on what their costs are at the moment. But if the prices are quite high at the moment and then things settle down, the escalations will be a negative amount that'll get applied to the contract. So.
Right, so they put in the work they do would expect, but the physical tar they buy, bitumen,
based on what the cost is now, yeah.
I see, okay, yeah. That could go down if it goes down or up if it goes up.
Depending on what's happening around the world, yeah.
Mark. 2.6 Lake Hood. Must be some very important questions coming, Neil. Brace yourself.
God.
Councillor Moffat.
Hope it's been worth it. I just want to know if you know the cause of that flooding around the public toilets opposite the boat ramp.
It's really a low point, and there wasn't any subsoil or drainage provided, so the water's just laid there in winter when there's a lot of water and it's just sat there. It hasn't drained anywhere from there, so that's the cause. So what we're doing is now we're creating some drainage and getting it off the road.
So when I think flooding, I'm thinking knee deep. So how much flooding is there?
Oh no, it's just road runoff that's just been collecting at a low point, and this work is just getting it off the road and onto the side and into a drain. Yep.
Councillor Cameron.
Thank you. With relation to the trial that was done at Lakewood in the canals, and you're storing the containers. Are you going to do the trial again next year? Because I know you felt there wasn't a huge
potentially. We'll wait to get the results from Professor Susie Wood and hear what she has to say with regards to the trials and if they were a success or not. And based on her recommendation, we'll consider whether we do another trial. There seems to be a lot of interest around the country from other councils and regional councils who are particularly interested, and we could potentially undertake some trials with them if they're interested in participating and funding and doing some work. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll wait for Susie to come up with her results of the trials and recommendations.
And do we have an ETA for her to come? Because I know she was planning to present.
Yes, so we're looking at in June sometime. She'll present her findings. Yeah.
And just to summarise, as I understand it, just to understand what I thought I understand, we are not anticipating any results from those trials until we get we're not going to do anything until we get decent results from the trials.
That's right. So by the time she does come and present, she'll have a good idea of the success or lack of success of the various products and with a recommendation. So we'll wait for that to decide where we go from there.
Councillor Wilson.
Previously, we've looked to employ an operations manager for Lakewood. How's that progressing?
Yes, so once that's approved in the annual plan budget, we can proceed with recruitment for that position.
Any further questions for Lakewood? No. Thanks, Neil. Compliance and development, building services first up. Welcome, Ian. Hi, Michael. Anything to add to your report?
No.
Questions, councillors? Councillor Moffat.
Morning. Under the legislative change point, are you envisaging the changes will create more or less work for you? And to what degree?
Through the chair, I think the work volume will stay the same in our district. With the self-certification of plumbers and draining layers, most of the builders still want our set of eyes over the job, even though the plumber will be able to, sign it off himself. And it might just be a refocus of work, so it might be more compliance and enforcement side of things rather than inspecting.
Do you feel equipped to take on that slightly different angle?
Absolutely.
Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. Morning, Michael. Consent volume still going through the roof and no sign of that decreasing. Have you had, though, any granny flat type ones come through with that change in legislation that we've heard of?
To date, we've had 5 granny flats.
Councillor Wilson.
No, with the expansion of the dairy industry and obviously a lot more houses being built and sheds and all that, I note down the bottom it says consents got back on track. Did we get off track, did we, or can you sort of expand on that?
Certainly. Through the chair, what I meant was our compliance numbers were down through the 20 days. So you can see that, December and January were in the 80s, but now we're back up in the high 90s.
Okay, so with these, because people will be under quite a bit of stress because they will have decided to go milk cows next season, they'll probably even build a house. So, the council's not going to be holding them up at all in this process. It's putting extra resources because there's obviously quite a lot going on.
There is a lot going on, and with moving day coming up, there's certainly a lot of requests for inspections and sign-offs. Yeah.
So we put extra resources.
We've put extra resources in the top end of the district.
Councillor Todd.
Thank you. Morning, Paul. I was thinking about are you keeping ahead of building consents? And with the increase you're having, then I scroll down further and I see that you're using more contractors. Are they other councils you're using, or are they independent contractors? Who are they? Or where are they, I suppose, maybe?
So at the moment we use 3 contractors, one based here in town, who does our pole sheds and sort of garages and stuff like that, sort of quick stuff that we can get in and out to keep the numbers down. And then we have 2 firms based in Christchurch, independent, that work for all other councils as well, and they take sort of our overflow when we get an influx of consents.
Councillor Cameron.
Thanks, and it's a nice segue for my questions. We just recently reviewed the revenue and financing policy and tried to adjust it so that consents would pay for consents. Are you when you're going out of town, is that the same price as what you charge for a consent in-house? So consents are sort of washing their own face, so to speak.
Yes, so a building consent is 100% user pays for the job.
And all the preamble around it, the inspections and...
Yep.
So, okay.
Any further questions for Michael?
Can I just ask one more question?
Sure.
So your contractors charge the same as what you would charge, your department in-house, or are they additional, so the people that get the external contractors are paying more for their consents?
Some are under, some are over, but we charge our rate.
Oh, so some we're losing and some we're winning on, is that?
Sort of $5 an hour is what we're losing.
And how many hours, so?
It might be 6 hours a house.
So $30 a house
Yeah.
we're losing. Because when we saw the figures at the Revenue and Financing Policy review, that it was a little bit of money that we were under that's being dealt, but there's only about $30 a house, and we might be making $30 a house on other ones. Is that pretty much what you're saying?
I kind of budget for cost recovery only, so I don't make a profit. So just to keep things fair is our contract with the contractors, we set KPIs that they have to do, say a normal group home house in say 6 to 8 hours.
Yep.
And then we would charge that 6 to 8 hours.
Sure.
So sometimes we're over, sometimes we're under.
Sure. And just to ask the Chief Executive a question, those revenue and financing discussions we had, they'll come in, next council meeting, they'll be approved, or in your plan?
Which discussions are you
We had our
specifically
revenue and
referring to?
financing policy review of fees and charges, didn't we, about a month ago? We reviewed fees and charges.
Well, there's a range of things. There's fees and charges that are coming through in the annual plan, which
Yeah.
we'll adopt by
But
the
didn't
end
we
of June.
review the revenue and financing policy, certain aspects of it, or was that just a workshop thing?
No, the revenue and financing policy is part of the LTP work.
Okay.
You considered when you would collect DCs, if that's what you're referring to, and that's
Yeah.
going through that process around the development contributions
And
and,
that
the
will,
consultation and the.
when will that, is that?
I just need to check when the conclusion of that work is, but I think
Because
the collection, the change to the collection of those fees was in the future, wasn't it? It was either 1 July or was it 1 January next year?
It was 1 July. Yeah.
That was just the DCs.
But we also reviewed the fees and charges, so that'll come in the annual plan.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate your time. 3.2, Civil Defence Emergency Management. Welcome, Jim. Anything further to your report?
Nothing further to add.
Questions, councillors? Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. Morning, Jim. South Island Foot and Mouth Disease Response Workshop, and it's probably not something in this district we want to even think about foot and mouth, to be fair, but just so there is a response plan there, obviously, for that if that horrible event happened to occur.
Through the chair, yes, MPI hold the lead for a response to foot and mouth, and there's constant planning and reviews go on with that, and this workshop was part of that. Probably 50, 60 odd people at it from varying agencies, so it was really good.
Ellis.
Thanks. I see you've got a community response plan for Hinds set up, which is really good. So are all the small sort of townships, villages now covered off with a community response plan?
Through the chair, yes, to a certain extent. For the likes of Alfred Forest and Lauriston and places like that, a little bit smaller, we'd be pulling on the same volunteer bases already with the rugby club and the fire brigade and all of that. So we tend to just work with the fire brigade in those areas as our first responders, and then we deploy people in as needed.
Good.
One from me, Jim. The EMA, the Emergency Mobile Alert, you've got access to that going forward? That looks like an awesome tool.
We do have access to it, so Canterbury Civil Defence, as part of exercising that particular, or use of that tool, they're setting some up permanently so that we've got them there that we can call on. The actual EMA tool is going through a review at the moment at national level, so the National Warning System and EMAs as part of that, so just working on that at the moment, but we do have access at the moment and can call on it at really quick notice.
The ability to isolate a street or an area and send an alert. Just looks like so good.
It is, and we've actually got a really good system here with the 4196 pool system that we have set up through e-text with council communications, and they do a fantastic job maintaining that list for us as well, and can get alerts out really quickly via that too.
Awesome. Yeah, Liz?
Just the Starlinks, so are they permanent fixtures out at the Hakateri Marae and Mount Somers?
Through the chair, yes. So they were installed at both of those locations. So they're a Gen 3 Starlink mounted on the roof of each of those locations. They also have a VoIP phone with them, so voice over internet protocol. A great sort of community asset there for each of those.
So are there any others in the community?
We have our...
You've got some here.
We have got two here, so two old Gen 2 models, and we've also built 5 community kits that we're able to deploy, and we're just working with FENS now about putting those into the fire stations, and then through an SOP within the logistics function in the EOC, we'll be able to stand those up during an emergency if needed and where needed.
And another one from me, Jim. The blue zone for tsunami, the meeting with Ecan Science. Can you explain a wee bit more about the blue zone, please?
So tsunami has 3 zones at the moment. There's yellow, orange and red. Here in Ashburton district, we only have the orange and red zone. So yellow is a zone that is used, Christchurch, places like that, and you only evacuate the yellow zone when requested to by civil defence. Right. So here in our district we have the red and orange zone, red being basically down on the beach, orange where the inundation zones would be. The blue zone is going to combine both the orange and red, and in Christchurch they're working through how they're going to incorporate the yellow zone into that, but here in our district basically we're going to combine the orange and red, become the blue zone, so no real changes for those who are already in the zones. It's just a different way of displaying it, and less confusing for people. So as soon as we get a tsunami warning, everyone that's in the blue zone would evacuate.
Cool. Awesome. It looks like it for questions. Thanks for your time. Appreciate the report. Alcohol licensing, next 3.3. Welcome, Rick. Anything further to add to your report?
Thank you. Through the chair, nothing to the actual report, but I do have an update on our dog registration scheme when we get to that.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. Morning, Rick. The withdrawn or opposed applications, and I see there was a hearing for a new on licence. So that's a new premise, is it? And did our licensing people oppose that one, or what was the story there?
Thank you. Through the chair, this is an existing premise which has gone through a number of hearings. It was first for a tavern licence, and there was a hearing about the manager herself, and now we have the hearing we've just held regards the restaurant licence for that premise. And so that's been held, but we are waiting on a decision from the DLC. They're deliberating on that.
Councillor Wilson.
With one of the keys to licensing is getting plenty of managers in these premises so that the rules are known well. Do you think there's enough managers out there coming through the system?
Thank you. Through the chair, they are coming through, but the industry as a whole reports that they are stretched regards duty managers being worked on.
Do we do any proactive work with, like, the sports clubs? The ones I'm probably thinking about more, because the sports club a lot of them rely on their licence to fund some of their activities, and we need to sort of promote that as a good role to have. Who does anybody promote that within the sport?
Thank you. Through the chair, the tri-agencies are in constant contact with various licensees, sports clubs, clubs themselves, and so on. So that's an activity through the year.
Councillor Ellis.
And the Serve-wise thing you can do online is very helpful for those clubs and organisations too, isn't it? Because it's a simpler way of being able to...
Yes, thank you through the chair. Yes, it's a good activity, yes.
Okay, 3.4 animal control and your update, Rick.
Thank you. Through the chair, I know there's some interest has been voiced about our new online registration scheme. So this is the first year where we've been able to offer online registration rather than posting out all the invoices. So we have in the district 5,000 dog owners. That accounts for these approx 6,500 known dogs that we have. Of those dog owners, 4,000 of those have emails. So we've been able to send out dog registration invoices to those 4,000. Of those, only 250 have bounced back, and that could be like an incorrect address or account closed. So we're following up on those, and we've been in touch with around 100 so far, and only 20 have opted out of that email. So there's a very good response there, and just leaves 1,000 which have been physically sent their invoices. So a very good scheme at this stage.
Awesome. Nice. And Councillor Wilson.
It's probably a high topic. Last night on the TV, I saw that a dog had been in a section and the cat had got over the fence and the dog had eaten the cat, I think, and the cat had a vet bill done and it was 4,500, and the people with the dog were found liable because the dog damaged the cat, which was the property of the neighbour. But I'm just interested to understand, with menacing dogs, do we have any trouble with with dogs, with the public, dogs hurting other animals and then on their own property with cats? Because it was quite a topical. It was on the news last night, and I thought, well, it's.
Thank you through the chair. The number of attacks is mixed. It can account for animals and human. Cats can be involved and are regularly involved, and equally dogs running off sections and attacking someone that's walking a dog and going for the dog, but the owner gets bitten and so on. So all are investigated in detail to ascertain exactly what's happened and where the fault lies. The main thing for us is that the attack is actually witnessed and not just presumed, because if we come to a hearing and we cannot show that an actual attack took place, we cannot prove that that dog was the one in question. So it comes down to very detailed investigations, and this is why some of them can go on for weeks into months because of that.
We'll move to 3.5, food safety. Any questions, councillors? Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. I see you've done some auditing of some food premises. No issues, nothing for our community to be aware of or worry.
Thank you. I have just a small number of premises with corrective actions that they haven't addressed in a timely manner, so that's come to my attention now as a food safety officer for me to follow up, and that's to then give this stern warning that it needs to be addressed, or we will go down formal warnings and possible closure. But we work hard to not get to that stage.
That's great. Doesn't look like there's any further questions. Thanks for your time, Rick. Appreciate your report.
Thank you.
Planning 3.6. Morning, Brad. Anything further to add to your report?
No, nothing further to add.
Questions, councillors? Councillor Ellis.
Seem to be on a roll, so.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Good.
Just planning and changes and where we are with the legislation at the moment, and it's very difficult to do plan changes. Do you think that's hindering us at all with people who want to do things out there and not allowed to do plan changes at the moment?
So through the chair, private plan changes are still allowed. It's just the council-led ones.
Oh, okay.
So it does to an extent if we noticed a shortfall in a certain land availability, or if there was a change in land use that our rules weren't necessarily fit for purpose, then yes, it would be a problem because we wouldn't be able to get in front and do it. We do rely on the market to lead a lot of the opening up of new developments, and we're seeing a lot of that at the moment. But I think that's probably a reflection of the age of the plan more than us not being able to do plan changes, because we are. A plan under the RMA is meant to be 10 years, but this one's, well, it was made operative in 2014 now, so it is getting on, and you do at the end of that start to notice those constraints. But we do still have adequate land availability in all of our zones.
That looks like it for questions, Brad. Thank you. Appreciate your time and your report. 3.7, economic development. Thanks for waiting patiently, Shelley. Anything to add to your report?
Morning. No, nothing to add, thank you.
Questions? Councillor Moffat.
Hello. When the CBD feasibility study is presented to council, will the people that conducted the study be here that we can talk to them? Or?
Thank you, through the chair. Yes, short answer, I spoke with them yesterday. We were going to do a Teams meeting, but they've decided to come down of their own volition to present and answer questions.
Great. That's why I asked this. This may be for them. Of the 20 businesses that took part, do you know if those businesses were approached by the study authors, or did they come to the study authors? Were they picked randomly? Do you know?
Thank you, through the chair. Yes, I know most of the introductions I gave. I put an email out to our business contacts and said, would you like to be involved? And we received a lot of people. We also walked the streets and went into a lot of shops and talked to a lot of people, owners, managers, and then other people attended a workshop that we had here at the council, and then some contacted them directly. So it was an absolute mixture.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just sneak one in before you, Councillor Todd. The Glow in the Park website, Shelley, do you know the numbers visiting that website?
No, I haven't had any update. That's managed by a different team from ours, but we can get that.
Thanks. Councillor Todd?
Thank you. Yeah, all the best for Glow in the Park this weekend. Weather's going to be fine, which is great. So, good start. So just on page 51, just under additional notes, you just say that the Canterbury Tourism Advisory Rep has been disbanded. When I read the minutes, I see they're still keen to have some association, probably under ADC maybe. So what do you envisage doing to hold the group together so you can all feed off each other, I suppose, as you've done in the past?
Thank you, through the chair. With our district promotions marketing advisor in place now, she is holding every 2 months, I believe, a networking session for all of the operators in the tourism space, which is being attended reasonably well. Different locations are always being sought, so they can be held all around the district. So that's the first way that we're doing it. There's also a monthly email going out to everybody with all information that we have to share.
Okay, oh, good, thank you.
Shelley, the operator engagement, the update email newsletters open rate of 67.3% and 61%. Is that seems low to me? Are those numbers low?
No, they're very high.
Are they?
Typically, open rates across the industry for tourism would probably sit between 20 and 30%. Agriculture is around 18%. I can only speak to those two because they're the only two industries I've worked in. But as a marketing metric, that's very, very good open rate.
So that's the operator's opening rate, isn't it?
Yes, that's how many of our emails were opened once they were sent.
It sort of leads me on to the tourism advisory group being disbanded, and then I think about the poor turnout to the last stakeholders get together at the airport. Are we barking up the wrong tree?
Barking up the wrong tree,
Well,
having the networking sessions.
Are we? Yeah, I mean, it's what can we do to get better engagement?
The networking event we held at the Aviation Museum was low numbers, but they were all engaged. I think, I can't off the top of my head, there were 10 there. 8 of those 10 hadn't attended before, so they were new. The last one we held prior to that, I think, was in Methven. And we even had some people come from Selwyn because they were interested to see what we could do and how we could work together. I think one of those people attended here at the Aviation Museum, so we might not be getting all the people all the time, but we're getting new people engaging and creating the connection back into our team. And that results in better relationships and connections. I think we can continue holding these networking sessions for at least another 6 months to see how they go. We've got the next one lined up at Mount Hutt. They've offered their facility, so it'll be interesting to see how many turn out there because it'll be a pretty good view.
Mm. Yeah, especially with the disbanding of the advisory group, you'd hope that they'd feed into that more, and yeah, if those low numbers continue, then yeah, okay. Further questions, councillors? No, it looks like we're all good. Thanks, Shelley. Thanks for your report.
Thank you.
And that is break time, 3 minutes ahead of schedule. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back, and it's time for people and facilities. Welcome Amanda and Sarah. Amanda, anything else to add to your report?
All I can add,
Button, please, thank you.
all I can add through the chair is that we have started with our rates rebates. We are starting to check off 24-25 year to make sure we've caught them and captured them in the 25-26 year. So proactively making contact with ones that haven't been in yet.
Right. Milas.
Thank you. Just an after hours calls question, and I asked this of Justin and the solid waste team. So if a bin is missed on a Friday afternoon or more Friday, and someone calls the after hour service, they should get told that it'll be sorted out on Monday, and not that they don't deal with that sort of thing.
Absolutely, yes. So the after hour service would take note of the missed bin, put a request through, and that would get actioned on Monday. What they probably meant by we don't deal with that is they don't ring the contractor there and then and get that bin collected. It is once business is open again on Monday.
Yeah, got you. Thank you.
Sarah?
And when we have information such as that comment, we can and we will contact Palmerston North City Council and get a copy of the recording and look into it. Often, 9 times out of 10, it's not how the message is translated to you, and that the person would have said along the lines of what Amanda said about it will have to wait and we can't do it now. So sometimes there are differences in level of expectation, but it was resolved. So we can connect back on that one.
The rates rebate. Oh, sorry.
No. You go.
The rates rebate graph, Amanda, and the growth line for 25-26. Is that about the widening of the of who's able to get a rebate now? Is it?
Absolutely. The Super Gold Card allowance that came in this year has certainly opened up the availability of the rebate to a lot more superannuitants that had 2 incomes or 2 people on super with a little bit of interest at their property. And we've probably seen a wee bit more of the lower income earners that don't have that Super Gold Card option, but yes, it is definitely not as much as we initially thought, but it's certainly been nice to see more people eligible for a rebate.
Nice one. Milas.
And on the rates rebate, are you still going out to Methven require to do a sort of a drop-in out there as well?
We do it once a year. We don't tend to go regularly, but we do offer home visits for people that are a little bit more stuck at home. And that can happen throughout the year.
Yeah, that's good.
That's it for questions. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for your report and your time. 4.2, library. Morning, Jane.
Morning.
Anything further to your report?
No, nothing further. Thank you.
Thanks. Questions, councillors? Councillor Moffat.
Hello. With the English language drop-in sessions, are they mainly the former refugees or do we have others taking part in that?
Through the chair, no, it's a huge cross-section of all sorts of different people who've moved into, moved into the community.
Okay. And I notice with is it the road code? Yeah, it's got a lot of children there. So is it library staff that look after the kids while the parents are having their road code tutoring? How does that work?
Through the chair, no, the library staff don't look after the children. They bring their own minders with them, but we do often provide some equipment or colouring in, things like that.
Milas.
Thank you. The JP sessions, like quite often you'll go down on a Tuesday and there'll be a big queue of people. So are the JPs keeping a record of all the numbers that they're seeing, and have they noticed a big increase since moving here from Community House?
Through the chair, yes, they do keep a record and they're very happy with the attendance here.
Yeah,
very happy.
It's working well.
Any further questions, councillors? Councillor Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Morning, Jane. The activity programs, the list there is quite extensive and very good, actually. Are there any new? How often do you refresh these programs? Is that you got new ideas coming forward? Like, the feedback I get is that the library's always busy. There's heaps of activity going on with people coming and going and doing all this stuff. How do you keep the momentum going, I suppose, is the question.
Through the chair, thank you. That's a great question. We are constantly looking for different things, so we're constantly talking to the community. In this past month, we've had 2 new programs start. One is a card playing session, which takes place on a Friday and a Tuesday afternoon. And the other one is we're playing host to EPRO 8, which is a STEM program where there's a competition in town here, which then feeds into the regional competition in Christchurch. And we play host to the homeschoolers who use the EPRO 8 kit supplied by EA Networks and stored here, and then they are training in the facility. And the Year 9 boys had their competition the other night and they won the competition. So we feel very proud to have supported them to do their training, to do that. Yeah.
Councillor Cameron.
Thank you. Thanks, Jane. The approved free meeting rooms seem to be quite quiet this year. How does it differ from the ad hoc meeting rooms?
Great question, thank you. Yes, so the ad hoc meeting rooms are just people who drop in.
Okay.
So that room has the green slash on it and they want a meeting room, they just drop in there and do that meeting. The approved free meetings are generally longer meetings where a group wants to do something in the library.
So there's not many of them, but I can't compare that to the previous year. Are they always a bit lower at the beginning of the year compared to, or is that, or haven't people have just found elsewhere to go or whatever?
So the new bookable system, the bookable booking system, has actually removed some of the eligibility for free meeting rooms.
Oh, okay. So they're the same rooms. Can I just ask a question? So they're the same rooms, are they, pretty much?
Correct.
Like I could ring up and say I want to have a meeting on knitting, for example, and I'm a community group. I can go in the same room as if it was an ad hoc meeting room, but I'd be just a pre-booked, essentially, is that it?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions? Nope, that's it. Thanks, Jane. Thanks for your report. 4.3 EA Network Centre. Morning, Richard.
Good morning.
Anything further?
Nothing to the report, just a couple of events I wanted to highlight for councillors' interest. Tonight, 7:30 to 8:30 is the return of Women's Swim Night, so if anyone's interested in attending that. And this weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, we'll see the Filipino South Island Games coming to Ashburton, which has actually been a really good learning from my perspective. It's a massive event. They'll be playing basketball, volleyball, badminton, chess and table tennis as part of that event.
Yeah, good. Awesome. Councillor Cameron.
So did they book that, Richard, a long time ago? Or like how do you know the stadium's free for them to play basketball?
Through the chair, yes, they did book it a number of months ago, and we've just been working through the details with them over the rest of the month.
And then they're all staying presumably in accommodation throughout the district.
That's correct. My understanding is between here, Geraldine, and Methven is kind of the locality. There is a little bit of activity being played in Geraldine as well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'll sneak in a question, Richard. The yoga and Pilates, does that come with your dual membership?
Through the chair, yes, I believe they are all timetabled classes. We have trialled yoga blocks as well, I believe last year, and they were also quite popular for those people just wanting to do yoga. But yes, they are included.
Thank you. Mayor McMillan.
Thank you. Just to checking on the Mini Mid Canterbury, so all going well down there. You obviously still getting lots of bookings. Has the salmon hasn't been quite finished yet?
Through the chair, yes, we are getting a lot of bookings. I did check before I came down. We've had over 9,000 bookings alone on that, and over 5,000 equipment hires. So
wow.
That gives you good intel on that. We are still working through the replacement for that salmon and whether it's a like for like in type, or if we're going for something a little more robust. So we're working through that with the contractor still.
So is the damaged one still there?
Correct.
Yeah, it's just been held together with a bit of tape.
Tape and glue.
Awesome. The basketball senior 3x3 regional competition, when was that? And was that Basketball New Zealand run? I'm assuming.
Through the chair, I believe it was a Basketball New Zealand tournament run by the local organisation. It was in the latter part of March, I believe. It did shrink over time as well. They didn't get the level of interest that they wanted for that tournament, but they do continue to push 3x3 around the traps as well.
Have you got any idea of number of teams or people?
Not off the top of my head, but I do know there was teams from as far as Waitaki right through to kind of North Canterbury and West Coast came. So it was quite a wide-reaching one, but I wouldn't know numbers, sorry.
Okay. Further questions? You're all good. Thanks for your report, Richard. Appreciate your time. Ashburton Art Gallery and Museum. Hubert, welcome to your first activity briefing.
Thank you. Kia ora tātou, everyone.
Anything to add to your report?
Nothing specific, except that since the time the report's been generated, we've had 3 new exhibitions opening up, and there's 2 more coming in tomorrow night. So it's a busy program as always, which I've inherited, and it's running very well.
Awesome. Councillor Cameron.
Hubert, I just have a comment to make. I've looked at the EA Network Centre and I've looked at the library, and I know that these trends, this is probably non-significant, but it's interesting to see that your visitation rate is higher and going up for the 25-26, and they're a little bit lower, probably non-significantly. So congratulations to you and Shireen, really, I think. Yeah.
Yes, as I said through the chair, I've inherited this, and I've discussed this with Sarah also. We are tracking attendances very carefully manually, as well as through the automated system at the door, so to make sure that they actually track correctly, and I think they're pretty well within CUI of being the same. We are experiencing a slight slowdown, but it's midwinter and this is what happens. However, my programs team tell me that it's going to be busy over the school holidays, which it always will be in winter apparently, so
your numbers are good. With regards to the arts, culture and heritage strategy, do you think that's had any impact on visitation to the museum library?
I'll leave this to Sarah, perhaps.
I'm not sure about visitation. I think awareness and engagement has been a really big push from our comms and our strategy and policy team. And I think that they'll have some really good statistics if required and willing to share as part of the deliberations about how people have kind of connected and linked the dots between famous people that we know actually coming from Ashburton and performing and being world renowned in their area of arts, culture and heritage. So it's been a really positive spotlight on an activity that sometimes doesn't get the focus. So we're really happy with it.
I think it's done really well. Thank you.
Councillor Moffat.
Just want to say welcome to you in your role, and hoping that everything is going well. Sounds like it is. Are there any areas that you feel like you could do with more support, or things are ticking along quite nicely?
Through the chair, first of all, I think this is quite a remarkable enterprise. There are not all that many museums and galleries regionally that manage to match or even exceed their local population, and I think you are, or we are, which is remarkable. Specific concerns, I tend to discuss these with Sarah, and they're relatively minor, so probably not best for this forum at this stage, but we'll work through them and we'll bring them to your attention if there are any, which is a political answer. Thank you.
Well done. Milas.
Thank you, and I just wanted to make a comment. So we've got the opening tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, and I just encourage councillors, if they are able to make it, to come along, especially the Matariki exhibition, which is Ashburton Intermediate School, and last year it was Ashburton College who did some work with some decorated po for Matariki. So I think it's a great way to kind of connect the community and the art gallery. So yeah, if you're not busy, come along.
Doesn't look like there's any further questions. Hubert, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Community Open Spaces Group. Welcome, Tony. Janice, 5.1, Communications. Morning.
Morning.
Hi, Janice. Anything further to your report?
Nothing to add to the report, but I can provide an update on visits to the GLOW website since the start of May, which is 4,660.
Thank you. Councillor Moffat.
Morning. Wondering if you can explain to me just the bit that says under digital platforms, reach and accessibility on page 75. Due to an increased demand for email marketing services, we enabled a partnership model for email newsletters, etc., etc. Can you tell me what that is exactly?
Sure thing. So with that increased demand, what we were finding was when we do research on our what channels are most effective, the answer is always email. That seems to be the one that creates a call to action and people to actually click through to things or take an action. What we were finding was we had business units such as economic development, emergency management, the library, that also were wanting to run their own email campaigns. So we've now set up a system so that they can run them themselves, they can receive training and support, and therefore we can reach a whole lot more people with information.
I'll sneak in with a question. The internal communications, Janice, the staff newsletters had good engagement, an open rate of 54%. I guess this follows on from my surprise with Shelley saying 61% open rate of hers, but you know, we're quite good. So, yeah, that's good, 54%?
Through the chair, yes. 60% we think is completely amazing for an email open rate. Even 40% is quite good. Quite commonly when you run a campaign, you might expect to see 30% for an open rate.
Okay. Councillor Wilson.
5.1.2 Community Insights. That's yours. Just it's the sort of first time I've seen that one. So where's that sort of coming from? You know, discussion. It says community discussions. How do you come to those conclusions, as it was?
Thank you, through the chair. So that is monitoring of online channels across the internet, basically. So we do a search on whenever Ashburton District Council is mentioned anywhere on the internet, and this is how we are able to identify which are the sort of hot topics at the time.
Ellis.
Thank you. I'm just on the next one, upcoming communications, and I see you're looking at doing a digital edition of Council Brief. So I know that it's in the Courier and the Guardian each week now. So are you looking at doing just that whole Council Brief online once a week? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes. So what we're looking at doing there is following what other councils do is providing a bit of a wrap at the end of the week through our email newsletters. And what that does is just keeps us top of mind, and it means that we're able to get our messaging across without any sort of advertising or other noise that are on social media channels, and it just goes directly into people's inboxes.
So it'll be an email out to the 4,000 or however many There'll be way more than that. I'm just thinking about the dogs. There'll be an email go out each week with a council update.
That's correct, and we will launch a campaign to drive people to sign up to that newsletter as well.
I see. Okay.
Just a quick follow on from that, Genesis, is that something that you'd see councillors maybe reposting on their social media pages?
Absolutely, we'd love any support in promoting that wider.
Cool, thank you. Councillor Cameron.
Thank you. And just following on from your question, Mr. Chair, with regards to opening the letters, the internal newsletters which I guess go to council staff, is that correct? And I know what you said, 60% is amazing, 40% is acceptable, but this is our own staff. Shouldn't our own staff open their newsletters? Doesn't seem that you'd compare that to an external amount. Is that a reflection through it? Does HR have something to say about that, their engagement and stuff? Like, if I got a newsletter from my employer, I would open it.
Through the chair, we do have a range of methods for reaching our staff, and a newsletter is only one of them. You'll see in the report, we also have screens in staff rooms with key messages on them. We use email, direct email in your actual staff mailboxes. We also have an intranet, which is a very important tool, and we have Microsoft Teams, where people get a notification of news, and it cuts through what staff are working on at the time. So there's a whole bunch of ways that we're reaching staff. That is just one measurement and one method.
Councillor Moffat.
Hi, I see your third wave of residents survey is about to happen. So with that, has the survey changed in any way to take into account legislative changes that are coming up, amalgamation, that kind of thing?
That's a strategy and policy question, sorry, so if we can hold that for Mark, he can come prepared with an answer.
Okay. Oh, it is too, sorry.
I think that's it for questions for you, Janice. Thanks for your report. Thank you for your time. Strategy and policy.
Do I need to repeat that?
No, but we do need to confess we have managed to save the wrong version into this document, so I have just emailed you the latest version of the S&P update for May, and Mark can give you a bit of a synopsis of what it says. So apologies again.
Hi, Mark.
Morning. So just a quick overview of the key highlights. So annual plan obviously is ongoing, so the plan for that is adopted on the 30th of June now. I think we've had a conversation about that earlier today. LTP work is well underway, so we have a workshop schedule planned and workstream planning underway. We're still getting stuff out of government relating to that, so one of the things that I've highlighted is a cabinet paper setting out a draft group structure that all LTPs and council accountability documents will have to align with. So that's currently going through a bit of a drafting process and potentially a consultation process, but will be in place for the 27 LTP. The bylaws work is ongoing, so you will be aware now that we've finished tranche 1, and we're moving into tranche 2, which is dogs, animals, bees, poultry and cats. So the intent of that is to consult mid-June, mid-July. You'll be aware that we delayed that due to SLG stuff that's hit. The policy side in terms of LTP is underway, with the first RFP workshop and the other policy work being scoped. The arts, culture and heritage strategy, so the consultation on that has closed on Sunday. So we've had 42 submissions to that, which was a good result, and I think that comes back to you on the 10th, I think. I think you're probably well aware of the simplifying local government work, which was a small thing that happened since the last activity briefing, and elderly housing, so the work there's ongoing, so with the tenants meeting last week, and the next stage of that is around proposed changes to the policy, which will come to you on the 10th. In terms of other stuff coming out of government, so there is currently a Commerce Commission ring fencing paper around looking for feedback from the sector about what that actually means and how they will look to work it through. as part of their process. And we are expecting a number of Building Act amendments apparently pretty soon that will drop pretty soon for consultation. So happy to answer any further questions.
Thank you. Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. There was a little bit of talk around the government looking at maybe making some changes to the LTP because of simplifying local government. Has there been any more noise around that, or has it just seemed to have gone away?
Nothing that we've heard to date. At this stage, I understood that was the ministers were starting to look at that. So I don't necessarily anticipate anything will happen. And at the end of the day, so the legislation is what the legislation is, so we'll follow what that says we have to do.
Hamish.
Just to confirm, really, that Minister Bishop acknowledged the difficult environment for LTPs and representation reviews with the current reform program, and that acknowledgement implied that they were going away to have a look at it. And there was certainly no suggestion, promise, or undertaking to change the current settings. And I think most councils, while we can see the difficulties that the environment creates, are carrying on with the work as it's currently required to be done, because there's very little alternative pathway that we can easily see at the moment.
Councillor Wilson.
It's to do with the long-term plan as well. Previously, long-term plans, we've had it was a change where we had, I was called a pre-consultation almost, where we went out to the public before we actually set our parameters of what we were talking about. Are we going to do the same thing for because I believe this long-term plan is the most important one we'll ever do, because it'll be there still, but we may not be there. So it's the 3 years of stuff. If I was setting up new councils, I'd pick up the long-term plan and go, this is what that community wants. It's been consulted on well, it's had a good job, and so I'm just interested to see, what are we going to, because obviously we need to start that pre-consultation earlier than later, because,
certainly it's still in the mix. I guess one of our challenges is timing and resource, and with the SLG work that's also hit. We will be talking about it further on the 23rd of June, I think, which is the next workshop dealing with some of that stuff. We'll seek some feedback. If we were to do engagement, it would probably be somewhere around the late July, August sort of period.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a great time because it's early enough, but because our public didn't get to do consultation on the annual plan because we didn't feel it was warranted and didn't feel it. But the long-term plan is a big piece, and the more you can talk, the more better result we'll get.
Ellis.
Thank you. I was just going to talk on the submission we made to Environment Canterbury's annual plan, and normally there would be a hearing. In this case, we got an email back from ECAN to say they weren't doing hearings, but you could pop in and have a chat to them about that. So Hamish and I organised a very quick catch up with their chair, just to sort of say, hey, this is what we want to talk about, and gave the view. But yeah, it was an interesting way of doing their hearings, I suppose, because they asked for submissions, but then they didn't actually hold a hearing process. So it was just more of, if you had something to say, you could go and have a chat with them.
Yeah, I think it was probably more of a feedback opportunity. It wasn't a formal consultation, but as part of that, they still have to give opportunity for the public or submitters to talk to council about their particular submission. So that was the way they did it. The resident survey, do you want me to answer that one? So the survey is based on or largely based on our activity, performance measures that we put on the LTP. So a lot of that's fixed, so that we can report against that on an annual basis. We do sort of ask a few other questions around things like quality of life and how easy it is to do business and that sort of thing as part of it. But we don't tend to change that too much on a year-to-year basis.
It's quite a rich source of quite longitudinal data. It goes back a number of years, so we can actually start to see trends, which is, while we have to do the KPI side of things for the LTP, the trends are actually really important. There are some areas that have verbatim answers that come through, and so that's where it'll be interesting to see if anything comes through on that around SLG and what reform could mean.
And just further to that, it's essentially an annual survey done in 4 waves, so that anything particularly topical doesn't taint the year's view of the work that it's being questioned. And so we wouldn't change the questions partway through and the survey, or suddenly you've got no data to compare or collate in the same fashion. So we'd ask the same questions for the 4 waves. And sometimes we can tweak it, but the more we tweak, the less historical data is valid.
Looks like that's it for questions. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate your time, your report. Up next, memorial halls and reserve boards, and then on to grants and funding with Anne. Morning, Anne. Just turn on your light there, please. Thank you. Anything further to add to your report?
Not at this moment.
Questions? Councillor Wilson.
The Rakai Hall, I'm on the committee of the Rakai Hall, and we had a meeting, and we were asking perhaps someone from council to come out and discuss the future of the Rakai Hall and its potential upgrade or its earthquake proofing. So is any further progression been made on that at all? Do you know?
Yes, we're happy to come out and talk to the Rakai Hall and look at what options look like going ahead. We're just waiting on the committee to set the next date, and we'll be there.
That's great. Yep.
Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. This might be more for you, actually. Tynwald Reserve Board, just the old swimming pool area. Are we going to get an update on what's happening there at some time and somewhere? And
I will defer to Tony.
Thank you. There's a report coming to the 10th of June council meeting.
Okay, cool.
Okay, anything grants and funding? Councillor Cameron.
Memorial halls.
Oh, yes.
Well, I had my light on. I don't think you saw it, Councillor Hooper. Have the new booking system, is that working well out? I'm talking particularly about Tynwald because I'm on that hall board. But is that success? Is that going well?
It is, yes.
And has there been, since the flooring's been repaired or improved, has there been extra bookings or extra interest in booking out there, or not that you would notice?
Because I manage it, there is.
Good.
Yeah, there's a lot more interest. We've got a couple more regular groups that are using the hall throughout the week.
Marvellous. Okay. Oh, that's really good. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
I think that's it, Ian. Couldn't get out of the seat quick enough. Thank you for your time and report. Mercedes, welcoming communities, 5.5. Anything to add?
No, thank you.
Questions? Ellis.
Thank you. Just the crowded spaces strategy training, is that something I see in our CDEM meeting in Christchurch tomorrow? There's a bit of talk about this as well. So is it something that the police are initiating, or is it who sort of started the talks about that? Because I know you have something in place for events as well, don't you?
Yes, so it was initiated by the police.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the community organizations asked me if I could organize something around that.
Okay.
Any further questions, councillors? Doesn't look like it.
Thank you.
Must be an awesome report. Open spaces. Morning, Ian.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, councillors.
Anything to add to your report?
Yes, through the chair, I'd like to point out the on page 92 the mop-up of the Rakaya salmon sculpture refurbishment. That's came in at a cost of 282,000, about 15,000 or so below what we'd allocated by way of budget. So a good result there, and I'd also like to publicly acknowledge the inputs there that helped achieve that result from local companies, Tarbot and Land and Civil, Ashburton Cranes, S&J Piloting and the Methven Lions for their inputs into that community process and project. So it's been a good outcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, and happy to take questions.
That was awesome, and we do appreciate it. Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, and that's great. Thanks, Ian. With regards to the defacing of our beautiful new salmon, did we get a formal apology for that? I mean, I know the cost wasn't huge, but what is happening with regards to that?
Through the chair, the police are pursuing redeeming the costs, so that's the process that they're working through right now.
So we just wait for that. Did we get an apology? Did they say we are sorry?
We haven't received an apology, no.
Liz.
Thank you. You had a planting day down at Wakanui on Sunday. How did that go?
Yes, through the chair, I believe there was between 40 and 50 people in attendance helping out, volunteers. A lot of community input, which was great to see. So, no, it was good. It's a tidy up of the area and planting with native species that are more in keeping with the area than what has been there in the past. So it also aligns, the work there is aligning with the development plan and refurbishment plan that was dated about 2016. So that work has been ongoing for quite some time, so it's good to continue it.
I see it said that you encouraged elected members to go along. Did anyone get an invite to that? I might have missed it. I don't think we did.
Deb did.
Did Deb get one? Oh, yeah. Okay. It might have gone through the biodiversity group, but didn't come to all of us, maybe. Yeah.
Thanks, noted. I'll feed that back to Christian.
Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. I see staff have been meeting with the users of our facilities with their club leases and updating those. There's obviously a wide range. There's, like some there with very permanent facilities like hockey and tennis, and then others are more casual. So how does all that work, I suppose I'm trying to ask?
Right, through the chair, we're liaising directly with those that have basically got bricks and mortar on the ground, so they have a formal agreement with us, so those are the processes we're working through currently.
Yeah, so bricks and mortar, does that now still include cricket because they now own, because they use the sports fields but might not have a building, and softball are the same? Do they have a lease, or because they use our facility, or?
Through the chair, the cricket will. They'll have they have agreement because they have the season for the fields per se. Football also in the same boat without bricks and mortar, but with the fields for the season, versus hockey and bowling and croquet that have got the bricks and mortar elements.
Yeah. And that just led me to another question with the Bowls Club, and I believe they need a little bit less space now than they've had before. Is it easy to incorporate what they don't need back into, your domain space, I suppose?
Yes, through the chair. The staff are meeting again this Friday with the club as the next stage of that process. They had their AGM last Sunday, so as a result of that, they've requested another meeting, so that's this Friday. In terms of the usability of the lower space, absolutely. We've got some, we've done some fleshing out historically from what used to be there prior, and we've got a few ideas, so it'll be relatively easily incorporated back into what is with the installation of a new fence into what is then publicly accessible space for all.
Councillor Gilkison, are you good to go there?
Yes, I am. What was I going to ask? I was going to ask about rubbish bins, and how often are you just constantly reviewing rubbish bin use? And if somebody wants a rubbish bin somewhere, what do they do? And also, if you notice one that isn't being used, do you get rid of it?
Through the chair, good question. Rubbish bins get very topical, and we are trying to employ a sinking lid type operational plan on that, because every time you put a new one in, there is a huge cost. It's not the cost of the bin, it's the weekly emptying that's the real needle in the vein going forward. So we're certainly retrenching where we can, where we do see bins that aren't being used. Sometimes it's repositioning, but we're certainly trying not to install new bins onto areas that have never had any before, simply to keep a handle on cost.
Councillor Cameron.
And so...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to
No, you
do a
Yep.
consequent, sorry. If someone does see somewhere that just keep having dumped rubbish, they just need to keep snap-sending solving?
Through the chair, that's correct, and that'll build a picture of whether it's an ongoing issue that we do need to address, and do we do something or do we not? So that builds the picture of what the demand is in the community.
Thanks.
I think Austin has a question. Councillor Cameron.
Thank you. I just want to talk about the cemetery for a moment. I did a snap send solve in the weekend. There were some very significant leaks out at the water fountains, the water taps at the cemetery. Are you onto those?
Through the chair, yes, we are.
There's quite a few,
received that your snaps in solve and turned into a CRM, and we've got that in train.
Oh, marvellous. So the system works. Thank you. And I have another comment, which is my old chestnut, with regards to the weed spray. Ashburton Dog Park, and I notice in the report it says very pointedly adjoining the riverbank, which I assume means it's come from the riverbank. Weed spray to tackle blackberry, sycamores and old man's beard was completed. How much did that cost us?
Through the chair, the biodiversity advisor has been doing some work in those bordering areas. The reserve boundary does get into the grey area of in amongst the willow trees, so to speak. So it's really a matter of pushing back, and just when we're there spraying, just lift the nozzle and spray a little further just to try and keep it at bay. We are having issues with and questions from some adjoining downstream leases where the westerly wind clearly is blowing old man's beard and sycamore in their direction. In terms of the cost, it's I can't give you an exact figure, but it is within the gambit of what we would normally expend on spraying weeds in such areas.
My point why I asked that question is perhaps we then should forward that invoice to ECAN, because I get from the report that they've encroached from the riverbed where they are not being dealt with into our dog park, which is, pretty clear. So I think that might be worth some consideration. Have you?
Through the chair, we haven't entertained that thought process at this point. We do know that with some of the requests that have come in, we have forwarded them to ECAN, particularly on the southern side of the river, and they have been over there proactively spraying.
Yeah. Well, they're choking a lot of those trees up there, but I think we should forward it. That'd be my view, but I don't know what the room feels. But
Councillor Moffat.
Morning. I see that Open Spaces is trying to ascertain how much work you guys do for other council departments, and wondering when you're likely to complete that, and will councillors get some sort of report on that crossover work and the costs?
Through the chair, I've viewed it to this point as being operational. You would normally see that coming through probably at budget setting time, at LTP time, where there is some of the credits against accounts at the top end. But we currently do a lot of work for particularly the Three Waters division, which is now with a separate entity. We need to be a little more clear on that and not just absorb because it's part of the greater council. We need to define what those areas are. And then similarly for property functions, we do some of the mowing at some of their properties, elderly pensioner housing and things like that. So it's a greater picture, but you would get to see that as credits in the LTP budget setting process.
Do you want to comment?
Just adding further to that, so there's quite a significant piece of work the team are undertaking around getting the asset management plan ready for the LTP. So it's a whole lot of big words really, but it's around knowing what we do, where we do it,
all those things, and also understanding all the different assets that we've got throughout the district on the different pieces of council property that the open spaces team manage. So that it might start to come clearer through that, because there's a hope to get some GIS mapping and layers done too. That'll be quite useful.
Councillor Wilson.
The Hines Reserve toilets, I was at the meeting the other night, and there was just questions around. I know that the upgrade is into next year's long-term plan, so that's great, and we've got consent, we've got issues to sort the issues out with that. But in the meantime, the maintenance and servicing of it is being done by council, and the Reserve Board were just asking if that maintenance and servicing records could be sent on to them, because obviously, even though they're not responsible for doing the servicing, if chip runs out the top, they need to understand if the light's flashing, what's happening, and so it'd be great if we could forward that information on to the Reserve Board so they can actually say yes, hand on heart, when our reserve, the toilets are being serviced properly and it's going right.
Through the chair, we don't specifically get a report per se from the service people, but we can certainly feed back to the Reserve Board when we've had some issues and we've got the service people out and dealt with said issue. Recent example was that light that you'd mentioned flashing, which yes was duly serviced by the people, and it was I'm not sure what the outcome of that was at this point, but they definitely respond upon request and deal with it. So
it's because many of the Reserve Board do understand the septic tanks because they're quite common in the country, and I get mine serviced and I get a report. It tells you what's coming up and what's wrong, and that's what they're looking for, so they understand where it's at and what the issues could be, so they can tell the council that this is the issue that we've seen happen or whatever.
We'll certainly look to feeding that back through to the Reserve Board.
Councillor Ellis.
Thank you. Government's just recently announced a big fund for wilding pines, so just wondering if that's going to help us in our, challenge of up at the lakes.
Through the chair, I did note that we were missing from the noted sites reported in the press. It's in those larger environs, but rest assured there has been recent work done both at Lake Heron and Lake Camp Clearwater environs for dealing with wildings with, again, volunteer groups run by Forest and Bird, us via biodiversity and with the community input, particularly in the high country areas. So it's going to be ongoing.
Yeah, and just a well done. I'm looking at the photo here of the new plantings with the cardboard plant guards. So I think that's a good step forward.
Thank you.
Segues to my question. Sorry, Councillor Todd. The 35 people from the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints group that showed up and did all that planting at the EA Network Centre, 800 native plants and shrubs, and installed the plant guards. Do we, maybe it's directed at you, Tony, this question, likes of that, the volunteers at the lake, the Stuart Tarbottons and the guys who did the good work for us cheaper with the salmon, do we do comms around that? Thank you, sort of. I just think it's like a nice message for our public to know and maybe inspire others to give us a good deal for things or help in a way.
Yeah, we certainly do lots of good news stories around all the different initiatives that are helping, and when we can get community partners into play to help with us, that's always great. But I wonder if there's almost a different sort of a conversation piece around actually we've got to Christmas. Thanks so much to all these amazing people that helped us out through the year on this range of projects and bringing them in together just to almost showcase a lot of the work that we do, and I'm thinking also wider out to your reserve boards and things, like we couldn't do the work that we do without the community contribution that comes into it. So leave that with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Top.
Thank you. Just a comment on page 94, reference to the Tarbottom Ride Smart Park. At our meeting on Monday, we're aiming for a early September opening. So we'll wait till the planting is done, the grass seed is sown and the grass is growing. And it'll probably be on a Sunday we'll have the opening, so we're aiming for early September.
Further questions, councillors? That's it. Thanks, Ian. Thanks for your report and your time this morning. Appreciate it. And that's conclusion to our activity briefings. Thanks, councillors and staff.